Today, we're diving into one of the most wild, beautiful, and completely illegal artistic acts of the 20th century. Seriously. It's a story about obsession, architecture, and how one person can literally change the way millions of people see their own city.
Just let that sink in for a second. It's August 7th, 1974. You're looking up, a quarter of a mile above the streets of Manhattan, and you see this tiny little figure step out into nothing. There's no net, there's no safety harness, there is just the wire, the man, and the open sky.
And right there, those are the two big questions at the heart of this whole thing. Because just getting himself and a giant steel cable to the top of the World Trade Center was almost as insane as the walk itself. And the why? Well, the why is what makes this story a legend, and not just some crazy stunt.
Okay, so the man on the wire was Philippe Petit, a French high-wire artist. But calling him a stuntman or some kind of daredevil just completely misses the point. You have to understand, this wasn't about cheating death or getting a thrill. For Petit, this was pure performance art.
That's right, an artistic crime. He actually called his plan le coup, which is French for the coup or the strike. And he planned it just like a bank heist. It needed a whole team, inside knowledge, disguises, months of secret planning, all for a single, beautiful moment that would be gone in less than an hour.
So, how in the world did they pull it off? I mean, the planning itself was just a masterpiece of deception. For months, Philippe and his friends were staking out the towers, learning everything. Security patrols, elevator schedules, the exact layout of the unfinished rooftops.
Their strategy was so clever. They just pretended to belong there. They got fake IDs and posed as construction workers, even as journalists, to get inside. Then they'd hide out on the roof before the final security sweep and just wait all night, in the dark and the cold, for the city below to finally go to sleep. Now think about this for a second. They had to smuggle in all their equipment. We're talking about a 450-pound steel cable, not to mention all the other rigging. And they had to get it all up to the roof, piece by piece, right under the noses of security guards, using public elevators and stairwells. It's just incredible.
And this is where they were setting up their stage, 1,350 feet in the air. That's more than 110 stories high. The winds up there are no joke. They're strong, they're unpredictable. The scale of what they were attempting is almost impossible to wrap your head around.
Okay, so you've got two skyscrapers, a 200-foot gap, and it's the middle of the night. How do you get your wire across? Well, this is where the genius comes in. They used a bow and arrow. They literally shot a fishing line from one tower to the other. And then, super carefully, they used that thin little line to pull across stronger and stronger ropes until they could finally drag that heavy steel cable across the void. So, the wire is finally rigged. The stage is set. And as the sun starts to come up over New York City, Philippe Petit grabs his balancing pole and just steps out. The heist part was over. Now the performance was about to begin.
And this is so important. He didn't just rush across to get it over with. No, he performed for 45 minutes. He made 8 crossings in total. He walked, he danced, he actually laid down on the wire. At one point, he even knelt down as if to salute the sky, the city, and the towers themselves.
He was in a state of pure joy, just totally in control. He had police officers gathering on both rooftops yelling at him to come down. And what did Petit do? He just calmly walked back to the middle of the wire, way out of their reach, and laugh. He was an artist, completely lost in his work. So after 45 minutes, as it started to rain, he finally walked back to the roof and let them arrest him. But you know what? The story doesn't end there. In a way, the most important part was just getting started.
You really have to understand, back in 1974, a lot of New Yorkers hated the Twin Towers. Critics called them these cold, ugly, soulless filing cabinets that just ruined the skyline. They were seen as a symbol of corporate power, not something the city was proud of. But after Petit's walk, everything changed. This one person's act of incredible bravery and grace, it turned those cold steel boxes into something magical. He gave them a human story. He connected them to the people on the street. All of a sudden, the towers weren't just buildings anymore. They were the stage for this impossible moment of beauty.
And that really leaves us with a pretty deep question, doesn't it? Is a landmark just about the architecture, about the steel and the glass? Or is it about the human stories, the memories, the moments of absolute wonder that we attach to these places? I think Philippe Petit's walk proves that the real soul of a landmark is something that we, the people, give to it.